Aloha and welcome to the 2015 Big Island Woodturners wood-turning exhibit right here in beautiful downtown Hilo, Hawaii. We're going to go through a little informal tour of the Wailoa Center here and look at some of the more significant pieces. I don't know if we're going to get to everything today, but hopefully you'll enjoy the tour. Well, what we have here are some beautiful lamps that are turned by one of our turners, actually two of our turners. One is Taira Yoshimura, the other is Dale Kurakawa. This is a beautiful piece of Milo here with a natural edge where you can see the bark on the wood, done by Aaron Hammer. Here you can see he's put in some wood patches here to prevent any cracking along the pith. Nice inlay work. This is Norfolk Island pine, couple of examples. One by Dale Kurakawa here on the left, and one by myself, Jess Craig. These are also translucent, and you can see the beautiful red knots in the Norfolk Island pine. Here's another great example of a translucent Norfolk pine bowl, soaked in oil for probably a week. Here's a Milo piece here with some gorgeous texturing around these little turd beads. Gorgeous Milo piece there by Tom O'Connor. Aaron Hammer with a nice monkey pod natural edge. Gorgeous. And look at all the butterflies here in Bob Masuda's koa piece. Nice inlay. And I can't believe how thin this thing is. This is light as a feather if you lift it up. This was done by Alex Francicini, Norfolk Island pine. Here you can always count on Greg Smith and John Mydock to put in a beautiful collaborative piece. This is made out of segmented wood, maple, and just with gorgeous finials and airbrushed paint on it. Just wonderful. I love this segmented piece here. It has a beautiful depiction of newly hatched turtles in there. This is a segmented piece done by Rick Frazier called Honu Hatching, made out of koa and padak. Here's another one of my pieces called Pennywise Pound Foolish. This is made out of Milo. It's a traditional Hawaiian poi pounder form. And this is actually three pieces where the lid of this bowl comes off, acts as a stand for the poi pounder. And this is made for putting your change in after you come home from work. Lots of Norfolk Island pine here. Some nice finial work here done by Erhard Estrada. Glenn Grace. Matt Malacca, a beautiful whimsical piece here, lidded vessel. Gene Short, always very creative. This one's called Holy Holy. In this case here we have some of our smaller pieces which are done with a lot of care and love and detail. Pat Albrecht does these beautiful pens, a couple of Norfolk Island pine pieces. This one here by Parker Nicholson has some beautiful fluting spiraling around the bowl. We have some miniatures here by Jackie Marlin, incredible detail work. More beautiful Milo, awesome finishes. Mango down here. More pens made of koa. Just wonderful work. Here's an awesome detailed piece by Doug Light and Debbie Nicholson right here. Beautiful color on that. Natural edges are always very, very popular. This one's done by Roy Beard, made out of pink Tacoma. Gorgeous piece. Russell Kohashi with his green aniline dye. And Erhard Estrada here, a segmented piece. Beautiful. Aaron Hammer. This is Bird Howe, and it has kind of a purple tone to it. I'll have to ask Aaron if that's natural. A nice piece here from Glenn Grace, Norfolk Island pine. Roy Beard again, wood. Very rare. Nice vase. I really like this little lamp here. Norfolk Island pine with knots. Has a lot of character. Little cute little dish here. Vase done by Matt Malacca and the dish by Debbie Nicholson. Another nice little lamp by Matt Malacca and a beautiful detailed piece by Parker Nicholson. Norfolk Island pine, both pieces.
Way to go, Parker.
Yeah, kind of looks like a pineapple. This piece done by Doug Cowan. He's blended some tallow with some Milo. Some beautiful beadwork on this. Gorgeous urn. And Dennis Hakes with his wavy, what I call potato chip bowls because they're so thin and translucent. And I love the carved feet on there, just so delicate. Rick Fraser with a nice urn, beautiful finish on this curly spalted mango. Very nice. And Jack Straka, one of our founders, collaborating with Glenn Grace on this koa piece. Very artistic and unique. Here we have another significant piece done by Don Albrecht. Love his natural edges. Beautiful butterfly work in here. Very popular. This has got to be, yep, Alex Francicini. Look at that vase. That is so beautiful. Cooked pine. Nice couple of lidded urns here. This one done by Richard Adjington in Kamani. Another by Richard Coe. A very rare wood here in Hawaii. Dave Fithian in a nice cute koa bowl, calabash form. Sean Fraser, Norfolk Island pine, nice calabash. And George Jensen, nice ohia piece here. Here's another beautiful platter by Parker Nicholson. Look at that detail work along the rim. How does Parker do that? I don't know. Good work. How about this beautiful piece by Alex Francicini, collaborating with Elena Clay. Elena did the wonderful burning on this. Alex turned the piece. I think they did a great job. How about you? Look at all these. You know, they don't have to be big to be beautiful, do they? Look at this leaf by Bob Masuda. Up here, a beautiful natural edge by Bob Masuda. George Jensen and a multi-axis turn goblet made out of koa. We have a couple pieces by Russell Kohashi. Nice dyed purple made out of mango. What do we have here? Nice Norfolk Island pine with knots. That's very unusual with a heart in there. Richard Adjington. Roy Beard with a pheasant wood bowl. Oh, look at that one. That one's done by Doug Cowan, called Wave, made with opiuma, ebony, and walnut. Another fine piece by George Jensen in carob. Boy, and you know, Milo, I think that's got to be one of my favorite woods. I just love that chocolatey look along with a sapwood accent. This one obviously done by Tom O'Connor. Great work, Tom. And Doug Cowan, in his insanely detailed beaded effect with his mahogany here in a southwestern theme, looks just like a basket, but each bead is carved on the surface. Beautiful turnings, both done by Doug. Here's a piece by Doug Lade, Mango. Doug, I hope I'm getting your name right there. And Richard Adjington called Smell Me in Aromatic Cedar. Wow, I just don't know which is my favorite piece in this show. There's so many beautiful pieces done by our wonderful woodturners here. What do we have here? We have, this one's done by Don Albrecht in Curly Mango. One of the finest examples of wood burning you're going to find anywhere in the world, done by John Mydock. This one's called Passion Flower. The more you look at that, the more you are amazed. Another one by John Mydock, Natural Edge piece. A very versatile artist here. And here we have another example of artistry by Parker Nicholson. A bowl turned within a solid piece of wood. And this giant piece of koa by Alex Franchiccini. That is so beautiful with all the movement going on in the grain and all the curl. Don Albrecht, another Natural Edge in Jacaranda. Wow, this one's called Flower Power. Beautiful piece. I don't think I've ever seen a piece of Norfolk pine that's looked like this before. It's just got beautiful little curly looking knots in the grain. It's just gorgeous. Beautiful form. Another one by Earhart right here. That is so nice. This one's done in mango and also koa. This has got to be one of the most unusual pieces in the show this year. This one's done by Dave Fithian, one of our wood turners. He's turned this out of 5 separate pieces of Norfolk pine and painted it to look just like cast iron. And he's even gone through the trouble of making a stand for it, a powder box. He's got a ball actually over here that he turned. Even this ring is made out of wood. Good work, Dave. Oh yeah. Can't forget the, what would you call this, a ramrod?
Sounds good to me.
The artistry just goes on and on. Here's another piece by Don Albrecht called Mosaic in California Pepper. And Doug Lade in Norfolk Island Pine. This awesome, detailed, thin, wavy lip there. A piece by Gene Short. Beautiful finish, gorgeous vase. This one's called Reaching. And John Mydock in a very unusual piece that's been turned and carved called Splash, done in pheasant wood. Love that. Enjoyed our little tour of the Big Island Woodturners 2015 show, and thank you so much to the Wailoa Center here in Hilo for allowing us to hold this event here. I hope you come back next year. Bye-bye.